Right then, welcome back to the channel. Something a little bit different today. This is episode 1 of the Howson IRL podcast. Stephen Howson and Janine Howson. Hi.
Hi.
You all right?
Yeah.
So why are we doing a podcast?
A bit of an introduction to us, isn't it, really? We get asked a lot of questions, especially you do on your Howson Q&A late night. So just answer a few of those, I think.
Yeah, we get a lot of questions that are asking us about what's going on with different things that we're doing for Howson IRL. We get a lot of questions about our relationship. We get a lot of questions about stuff that probably deserves an answer but wouldn't cover like a 10 or 15 minute video. So we thought a podcast is a real good place to do that. And it allows us to do some stuff that we haven't done yet on the channel, which is things like gear reviews and things like that. Because we do get a lot of companies that really want us to sort of delve into that. So welcome to episode 1. Episode 2 is going to be the zombie apocalypse, or the apocalypse, depending on which way we roll it. And you know, we might have guests on, we might do all sorts of stuff. But I just think a podcast is a great tool to sort of have decent conversations, and you can have a listen along with this on your commute or on your own hikes or whatever. So today then, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing on this.
Go on then. Off you pop.
So I was going to use this as a bit of a way to talk about some of the things that we've got planned in terms of courses and this, that and the other, and some of the hikes or trips that we want to do.
The courses are all yours, and they're all cold weather courses.
That's not true. I've been in touch with that company in Devon about us doing the campfire cooking course.
Okay.
It's on a weekend. It's your birthday weekend though, so they only do 3 a year. But I've emailed them and asked them if they'd be open for us going down during the week, and they've said yes, and they're going to get back to me.
You know, it's my 40th this year.
Well, next year.
Well, this coming birthday.
I do know it's your 40th, yeah.
Okay.
Why would I not know that?
Well, you're booking campfire cooking on the week that I'm probably going to be...
You're not listening to me. Because I literally just said, it's on your birthday weekend, so I've asked them if they could do one during the week.
Still, I'm having like a month-long birthday for my 40th.
I never mentioned what month I was asking for, because I've actually asked them for June anyway, for starters, because then the season's over.
Okay.
So shut up. I have got a list of courses I want to do next year.
Okay.
I've booked in for, like we said, the winter survival one, which is an overnight sleeping in snow holes. I'm looking forward to that one. I'd like to do my skydiving A license course next year. I want to complete my UEFA B on the football side of things, which is not really...
Yeah, no football related on this channel. No football.
Okay. And I want to work towards my land-based survival instructor course as well.
Okay.
Now, to get on that, it's a really interesting course, actually. There's like 7 different parts for it, and I have no idea I'm going to fit them all in, because there's like a 3-day survival, a 5-day survival, and I think it culminates in a 7-day survival, and they take you on all different sort of terrains. One of them's coastal, which I think's like moorland or forest. I bet it's well easy, isn't it?
Depends where they take you. That walk that we did on the Jurassic Coast, that was hard.
Yeah, but that's coastal.
Well, you just said one's coastal.
No, I just said if it was forest or moorland, that's easy.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, it's not just about the walk. It's about the... if you had to survive on a beach, that's going to be well hard.
Do you think?
Yeah. Because do you know where they do them? Scotland, for starters.
Oh, right, well.
So even... it's hardly the Caribbean, is it? Oh, I'm stranded on a beach. Where are you? Ibiza? It's a bit different, isn't it? Like
they
one
definitely
of those,
do them in Scotland.
Yeah. The entire course is in Scotland. Aviemore, I think it's all in.
This is what I mean. Why can't you just pick a course that's warm weather?
Because warm weather's easy.
No.
There's no credit to being surviving. Oh, how did you survive? Or just sort of sat there. Because it wasn't windy, it wasn't raining, it wasn't
warm weather's
snow.
just as bad. Risk of dehydration.
Hot weather can be dangerous, yeah, for sure. And well, would you do a desert survival?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's not many of them in England.
Can you see what I'm angling at?
Yeah, but what do you want me to do?
Book something abroad.
All right, me and Prinny want to do the Marathon des Sables.
Okay, I'll walk it.
You know how far it is?
I'll walk it.
Everyone walks it. Do you know how far it is?
Really long way, I'm guessing.
250 kilometres.
Prinny's not completing that.
Why is Prinny not completing that?
No.
Prinny just done 100 kilometres.
Okay, you're not completing that.
Oh, that's more like it. What makes you think you'd complete that?
It's got that grit, haven't I? Don't give up.
Well, next September, we'll try and both do the Smithy. Fancy it? Okay. So that's 100 kilometres.
Well, let's do Edale first and build up. This is my problem with you. You just go, like 0 to 100, like with nothing in between.
I haven't done Edale yet because it's 21 mile up mountains.
Okay, well, let's do Edale and then we'll discuss it after that.
Okay, but my plan that I'm looking at, because it's dear, so you've got to save up for it, is to complete the Smithy. If you complete the Smithy, so that's 100 kilometres in a day, about 20 hours. So you've got to get a shift on, right? If you can do the Smithy, 100 kilometres in a single day, then I think you can do Marathon des Sables. Yes, there's the terrain. Yes, there's the heat and all those other considerations. And you'll have done like a marathon a day for 4 days beforehand. But you're walking them, so it's not brutal. It's 40k. The long day is an 80k day. But actually, it's 36 hours. So it goes from like 8 a.m., say Saturday, to like 8 p.m. on Sunday. So you've got 36 hours to do it. If you only got 80 kilometres to do, you can go at the Smithy Bullock pace, get an 8-hour nap in, 2 hours of sightseeing, and then crack on, finish it off the next day. So you just basically do another 40k again, I think.
Okay. I think this is probably for a pod with Prinny, this.
Well, he would be here, but with him having like a real job and not being able to get down here, he's not been down here.
Do we not have real jobs?
No. And he said he could do a Sunday.
Okay.
But none of this lot works Sundays.
Okay.
So that's why we've not done it. But if we can be asked, and let us know, are you interested in hearing? So Prinny's my lifelong mate, longest mate.
Life partner.
And he basically did the Smithy Bullock Ultra. I wouldn't say with no training. He's never done a marathon before and decides to just sign up for a 60-mile ultra marathon as his first marathon, which I'm absolutely down for. I mean, I was literally down for because I signed up to do it as well. Yeah. And then I said, do you know what? I think it's a bridge too far for me at the moment, so I'm not going to do it. So I just sort of went and crewed him and Sean, who he did it with. Or, well, he started with. Sean didn't finish. And,
let's not get too much into it if you want him on.
I'm just saying, do you want to know more about that? Because he did do quite a lot of training beforehand.
But there's loads of things, my point is, like, before you even reach that point, isn't there? You've got, like, Hadrian's Wall, which I've always wanted to do. That's 90 miles. So you've got steps before you start paying money to go do these things and then drop out and then you wasted all your money.
I wouldn't dream of... It was only 50 quid for the Smithy Bullock, so I was happy to sign up and try and get towards it. I think I'll do it next year. I think I'll be sound. And I'm saying is, I want to do the Marathon des Sables, but the sort of like box tick that I need, both physically and mentally, to be able to even sign up for the Marathon des Sables is completing Smithy Bullock.
Okay.
Not trying it and failing it, and I mean finishing it, completing it. Can't sign up. Basically, like, not allowed to do that unless you've done that. Even though you could just sign up and do it. But I know about 6 people who've done Marathon des Sables. They all finished.
Yeah, we haven't got a babysitter or a dog sitter, so...
Well, that's the other thing is, like...
Logistics.
Well, that's one of the questions we've got. I've got some questions on my phone, actually, from different folk. But that was one of the questions that we had, which was, what's the plan for the kid/dog when you do these, or do they come with you?
Diesel's too old now. You can't take him on anything over 5k.
I can do 10. I've done 10 with him. I've done 10 with him recently.
Okay. Not recently since he's up, but...
No, not that recently.
Yeah. And then Blake, again, she's the same. Like, we've obviously done 10k with her, but she moans a lot. They're just not there yet. Diesel's too old, Blake's too young.
With Blake, you have to. So one of the hikes that we do has got like magic mushrooms on it. The Amanita muscaria, the toadstool red and white mushroom.
Like the fairy tale ones.
Yeah. So you can distract her by like, oh, mushroom. I think I saw a mushroom down there. I think, and you'll get like another 500 or 600 meters out of her before she's like, wait a minute, we're walking dead far here. But yeah, she's a bit too young. The dog's a bit too old. So anything over 10k or with any sort of elevation rules both of them out. So what do?
Well, it's usually we call on the grandparents, isn't it? Dog sit, babysit.
Yeah, and they do come as a double package. Without grandparents in our life, we wouldn't be able to do anything like this.
No.
So it's massive for my parents and your parents, lucky enough to have both of them, both sets in our life. Without them,
your mum mostly has the dog, doesn't she? Because my parents have already got a dog.
Yeah,
it's just carnage. Yeah.
That's a dog with one eye called Wilson.
Yeah.
For anyone thinking
a little Jack Russell,
thinking they want to be like pause. So it's basically just all down to parents. If you didn't have the grandparents in the life, then we'd really, really struggle. And I think that's the key to going out and doing any of these. But it still limits, obviously, having kids, having a dog. It still limits having you're wanting to go and do anything over a few days. Can't really be done when Blake's in term time. So you're limited to half terms for any. So we're trying to do. Is it Buttermere, is it called? Lake District?
Yeah.
The one scale Bothy. I want to go and do that in this half term coming up. And I think that would be nice to go do. You can get some real cinematic shots. It's a place that I haven't been to for 20 years, I think, the Lake District. Certainly overnighted, not in 20 years. And there's all sorts of places. Like, what's that brickwork place called in North? I think it's North Wales, isn't it? Might be Anglesey way.
I don't know.
There's an old sort of kiln place that looks really cool as well to go and do a night.
I think we should leave Wales for a bit.
But the good thing is Blake likes camping. So any camping we can do, we can take Blake with us. And I did go and do an overnight with Blake and the dog. What was that, a couple of months ago? Just to see what it'd be like, because we've never had the dog in a tent. Can't take him to a campsite. So when we go Cornwall, it's really difficult to take the dog with us because one, it's a long journey. Yeah,
we cram the car full, don't we, with the tents and tables and
there's no room in the car.
Barbecue.
I think if we took the Defender, we'd have a chance, but it would take us an extra day to get down there because of how slow the Defender goes. It's like 40 miles slower.
And a bad back for me.
But you could probably fit the dog and all of the stuff in if we did that in the Land Rover. With him staying in a tent, we can't take him in all the restaurants.
No.
You can't let him loose on the beach.
No shops or anything.
Yeah, so it really limit what we do with him. So we've never took him. We've took him to the beach a few times and let him frolic in the water, which he loves. And I would love to try and take him more. And that's one of the reasons why I went and did that overnight with him, is because I'm thinking I wouldn't mind trying one this year. And if not this year, definitely next year. Just a couple, not North Wales beach ones, because they're not that far to go then. And give him a little bit of a camping and what's it. But it's got to be quiet, because otherwise it should be barking at everything that goes past all night.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Camping's a lot like somewhere when you go on a proper site, people take the dogs, and it's dog central a lot of the time, isn't it? And Diesel's not that kind of guy. Not a friendly dog.
No. So yeah, what do? We palm them off basically.
But not all the time. Like, we don't even go on dates really, do we? Like
no, I end up taking
our walking days and everything.
Blake joins us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Wednesday afternoons is probably the closest we get to it, really. When she's in school, and you can either bring the dog or you can leave the dog.
Janine, I assume we all kind of know Steve is a little bit, he doesn't seem like an actor, but tell me something behind the scenes that's just kind of unknown and funny, something that makes you smile about him. It'd just be a fun topic question. Something funny. I don't know. I put on the Q&A the other night that you're very dramatic, which I didn't realise how dramatic you were until later in the relationship.
What do you mean dramatic?
Well, it's like when you wake me up telling me about World War III happening in the middle of the night. Like, that's a massive...
It's information you need to know.
It's not. I don't need to be woken up about it in senses wetting himself here. But it's not like it's egged on by you really willing something to happen, I think. Like, I think you want that to happen.
World War III?
Yeah.
Not really.
Like, I don't know. Anything war, you're just infatuated with, aren't you? It's like, Janine, World War III is kicking off. It's like, fuck off, go sleep.
But it was kicking off.
No, it wasn't. Hence why we're still not in World
It ended up not
War III.
kicking off, but it was kicking off.
That's happened like twice now. Twice.
But I won't call that dramatic. Do you lot not think World War III kicking off would be something to like let you know?
No.
You don't need to know that.
I'd have a peaceful sleep, you know, maybe the last one before I start worrying about things. I don't need to be woken up. Another thing is I guess quite a fun thing is when you get really poorly. He hasn't really done it a lot in a while, but I've spoke about this before on the rundown. When he has a really high temperature, he starts hallucinating. Early on in our relationship, like what was it in my parents' house? Like, he was burning up. I said, right, I'll go get you a paracetamol. So I go downstairs, get him paracetamol, come back, and he's under the cover and just goes like this, opens the cover up. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, snowing, quick, get in. So obviously from that point I'm like, all right, well, it's clearly a cave, and I climb in and like, what is going on? And he's burning up, thinks he's freezing cold, and it's snowing in the bedroom. So that's something that always seems to... It's your thing.
In a minute.
No, it's not happened in a while. But didn't you have one where like a pirate ship or something? You nearly...
Yeah, I've been on a pirate ship. I've been in the jungle. the one in the jungle was during basic training. So I was crawling on... This took a lot of explaining, and they sent me to hospital. So I got Weil's disease from the water, which is from rat piss, apparently. And I was burning up something. Well, they put me in an ice bath. It wasn't an ice bath. It was a bath with packets of ice to try and cool me down, because my temperature was going absolutely bonkers, and whatever drugs they'd given me weren't bringing my temperature down. But I hallucinated for about 3 straight days. It was sensational. But it started with me basically being in Vietnam jungle, crawling around. There's like 10 people in the rooms as well, right? So it's not like not being solo. There's 10 people in the rooms. I'm leopard crawling on the floor because I'm in the fucking jungle.
They're like, what's he doing?
And a corporal came in and turned the light on, and the jungle melted away. And I'm like naked on the floor, crawling, while my corporal's going, the fuck are you doing? And you're like, I thought I was in a jungle. Which is probably not the answer. And then you're like, I think I've got a temperature.
But all that from a temperature. I think that's quite a weird thing.
So they took me then, and they've ice bathed me, and it's not coming down, and they've moved me into, I'm in a ward. Like, it was proper serious shit. I'm in a ward, and at the bottom of my ward, because I remember thinking, oh, was that God? Right? A mountain sort of grew from the foot of my bed, and then like a Gandalf or Merlin kind of wizard kind of character was standing there looking at me. I like I said, when was the last time I hallucinated? It probably was at your mum's. I don't think I've done it at our house, have we?
I don't know. But do you remember the time when you like kicked me out of the bed because you thought you were clearing the room and that?
Yeah,
like, yeah,
that happened.
Like Steve was having one of his army dreams and like somehow got some purchase against the wall because we were like only in a little bed.
Volleyed a fucking
way back
door
when it just
right
cleared
off.
me right in the back, like.
Yeah, them ones haven't happened for a while.
Yeah.
But I also there was one where I was standing outside on a window ledge. It was only on the first floor, so if I'd have jumped, I probably only would have, or fell, I probably would have twisted or at worst broke an ankle, probably. I'd gone back on a course to where I did my basic training, and I got ill and was burning up, and in my hallucination got out my window naked and I sort of came
Why are you
around.
always naked?
Cock out, innit? And was just sort of came around just standing on a windowsill holding on. Just thinking, what the fuck else going on here? But yeah, I haven't hallucinated in ages.
This is why I want peaceful sleep. Because all these things happen at night or something. I just get no eye, do I?
Oh, bless.
Says, any habits that the other one has that annoys you?
Probably. I can't think off the top of my head, though. Three-hour-long baths. Not like I need a weir out.
Though. I usually ask you, apart from now, because you always need a wee.
Yeah, that's been a sort of unwanted side effect of dropping the Red Bull and drinking loads of water. Piss like a racehorse. And like the talking clock, actually. It's like on the hour every hour.
That should be sorted by now.
Yeah, I thought that had been sorted by now. It's not yet.
How do the ups and downs of being a United fan affect Steve, and does that affect your relationship?
That's for you.
I know. I'm just thinking.
Right.
Trying to get a picture. Just, you never get a Saturday free. Like, weekends are just a no-go, because if it's Saturday, it's either back-to-back Paddock, then United. And if it's not then it's Paddock Saturday, United Sunday. So, yeah. Your weekends are a waste of space.
I was just talking about Saturdays to Chris, because like my Saturdays are long, you know, especially with having physio at the moment. So I have physio at 8 a.m, I get up, I go to physio, I come back, I take Blake to gymnastics, I go to the gym, I finish gymnastics, I go and take Blake to my parents, and then I go to football. And like I said, if it's a double game, back-to-back United and Paddock, I don't finish till 8, 9, sometimes 10 o'clock on a Saturday. And just, I have no idea what's happened. Like, so there'll be loads of people who text me on a Saturday. Like, I literally replied to a text today from Ben. Today's Tuesday, by the way. That he texted me Saturday morning. I ain't seen him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Saturdays are a nightmare. Any more?
No, Boxing Day is a bit annoying, and New Year's Day. You've always gone to watch the football then, haven't you?
They used to be on Christmas Day, you know. You should think yourself lucky.
No, you're a lot better now, to be honest, because like I remember back when United were doing well. You used to come in and it was a bit more of a like shell shock when they did bad, and you'd come in like effing and jeffing like and this and like, it's just a game, chill out, it's not just a game. But
it's the
now,
worst thing you could possibly say. It's just a game.
Now it seems like,
what?
Sorry to all the United fans, but they're not doing that well. So it seems a little bit like it's less of a shell shock now. Like, it happens often and you just like, it is what it is. Do you not think?
You have a point.
Yeah. You read a few now.
Who's the better couple, us two or Jay and Joe?
What? That's not just the question.
How did the pair of you meet?
Do you remember?
I remember.
Go on.
I remember. But didn't you know me before I knew you?
I knew of you at college, but I was an art geek.
Yeah, you was a little goth nerd, weren't you?
I wasn't a goth nerd.
Bad little goth nerd.
I never wore black in college, so I don't know why you think that.
Goth nerd.
Rude.
Rafifi, which I don't even think is even open anymore, is it?
No. Someone got stabbed there.
Is it?
Yeah. Rafifi in Staley, Vegas.
About, what, 2007?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a night out. Usual. Kids today aren't getting, I don't think.
No.
Meeting their other half in a club. Don't happen, does it? No clubs? Goddamn kids and the music. And they're out.
You had to buy a drink in them days. Would you like a drink? I'd love one.
Let's see, I did have more on my phone. Let me just see if I've got any more on here.
Is that it? There's loads on there.
There is, yeah, but some of them are just... One says can't wait. It's not a question.
Oh, right, okay.
I'll read it out if you want. So, from Bill Baggio says, can't wait. There we go.
Splendid.
Let's see, is there any more on here? Reese says, typical topics you plan to cover in this. So it will be a little bit of like what we've just done, what we're going to do. Give us your thoughts on Penny Fan, before it, during it, after it. What was your expectations of all of that? And
You want me to say that now?
yeah, because
I covered that in the video. Go watch the video.
We should review the things that we have done on here.
Yeah. Thoughts going into it, I knew that I'd complete it because that's just my mindset. I always knew I was going to complete it.
You also haven't got any significant injuries that might stop you either.
No. But you did make me a bit nervous, and so did Spencer, by saying it's the hardest thing you've ever done. Never given birth, but yeah, it's the hardest thing you've ever done. So I obviously went into it a bit scared.
Was it hard?
Getting going was really hard. That first hill, I thought, what have I done? What have I done? Like, what is my life? And then that breakfast that we just had, I was like, oh. And then I was clinging to the side of the cliff on all fours while you're there with your sticks. Like, you fucker.
Performance enhancing poles. Poles were top.
Well, you did say, Janine, I'm getting some poles. Would you like some? I think it'd be really beneficial for this hike. I've experienced it before. I'm doing this.
To be fair, I bought them.
Like, I've got poles.
I didn't buy them for Penny Fan. I bought them for the Smithy Bullock, thinking I need to take, if I'm going to do 100 kilometres, I'm going to have to take some pressure off the feet.
Yeah.
And that's why I bought them. But I was still thinking I might do the Smithy Bullock when we was doing Penny Fan. And it was actually doing Penny Fan where I went, I'm just going to be in agony here. So I didn't do it.
No, for me, it's exactly the same as doing Paris 10. Like, I set off on that again, first 2 miles. What have I done? And maybe it's a running thing with me where I've just got to get warm up and get my muscles going and then find my stride. And I usually finish better than start.
The middle parts are usually sound. The middle parts, like, even if they're hours and hours and hours long, like 5.5 hours or whatever we did on Penny Fan, it slips by, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Remember any of the middle bit? Not really.
No, I had my M&S flapjack, which saw me through.
Like, you do end up, like, it's grind when you're in it, but, like, as soon as you're done afterwards, you're like, oh, yeah, kind of flew by a little bit. Obviously, you don't want to go Wales again. I saw someone else go Penny Fan this weekend, and that Luke Coombs, I think he's called, who's got a good hiking channel that's worth a follow. He's just gone and done it and ran it, and he did it in 4:7, I think he did it in.
Good weather.
Yeah, good weather. Where are all these people finding the good weather on Penny Fan? I sent you a video, didn't I, the other day, where it was like, I've never seen that view. It was like, the mountain range. I was like, I've been there, I have no idea. I have no idea what it looks like. Not a clue.
A bit disappointing.
It is a little bit disappointing because a lot of the reason that hiking's mega is the view.
I think that's why we do Mam Tor so much as well, though, because it's not far, like the drive isn't far from us. So you can always go back, do it another day, and we've caught loads of good sunsets there and sunrises, and yeah, it's just an easy go-to for the view.
I want to do Snowdon for a sunrise, but that means leaving Manchester at midnight.
Yeah. But Yorkshire and the Lake District, like, awesome views there. We don't need to go back to Wales anytime soon.
Sounds like I'm going Wales on my own. Mr. L.S. Archer says, who drags who into the most hiking situations?
I think I probably started it, didn't I? So I did, March in March when I started, first did my own solo hike on Mam Tor, and I really enjoyed it. I actually liked going on my own. Like, I found it was really good to get out of the house and be away from it. That sounds horrible, but be away from Blake because she's a motor mouth. So that kind of peace and quiet that you just get from not being a mum, and then kind of like saying, Stephen, you have some father time and I'll go off in some peace and quiet. That was really nice then, especially coming off the back of COVID. Found that really beneficial, and then I was like, Steve, you should come along, try it, and then you got into it, didn't you? And then before we know it, we were hiking up and down Mam Tor as it like it were going out of fashion. Yeah,
I mean, we did go on hikes, but very rare, like regularly but rarely, if that makes sense.
They weren't mountain hikes though, were they? Walks.
Yeah. Dove stones.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. And a lot of the reason why we didn't was my calves. Like anything over 5 or 6 mile, and even not sometimes, if it was an incline, I couldn't go up them. I remember I might have took Jaden actually and the dog to a Dovestones one. I just kept stopping every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And not a fitness thing, just I'm in unbelievable pain with my calves. And then literally the operation worked, and the only thing that happened since is like I didn't really build up to doing the 4-5-7. I just did it and give myself plantar fasciitis, which is still sort of affecting us today. But I'm hoping some of the timber coming off means like, my feet must have strengthened. So even if I'm still probably going to suffer with plantar fasciitis to a degree, maybe it comes in 20 miles in rather than 2 mile in.
I said that though in a comment on one of the late night lives, didn't I? That when we met, you were obviously in the army and way lighter. You do gravitate more towards like the type of person that you do the same activities. And I was always quite like activity focused and going out, spending time in the outdoors. I grew up in Stalybridge and I was always on the moors. And
drinking the sheep piss water.
Yeah, drinking the water up there. And you were kind of the same way, weren't you? Until your calves really kicked in, and then you just...
Well, the calves sort of kicked in as I put a load of weight on. And I sort of put a load of weight on. Obviously, left the army, ended up scaffolding, and ended up in the office scaffolding. And sort of weirdly coincided, I had my MMA fight after... I'd already started in the office. So a couple of things all kind of coincided at the same time. One is Janine got me hooked on Monster.
Wow.
You did. Which was the gateway drug to the Red Bull. Because I drank Orange Lucozade and that was it, really. And not even that often. So I kind of decided that Monster's quite nice, actually. Let's have 5 of these a day. I'm now working in an office where I've gone from being in the army and scaffolding, which is the scaffolding is like an 8-hour gym session a day because you're just lifting steel and wood above your head all day long. You end up absolutely jacked with it. I've gone from all of that, and I was doing 2-3 hours a night of MMA training to now.
Desk job.
I literally. I'll see if I can find it actually, because I finished my fight and I went, I'm going to get fat for a bit. Fuck me, did I nail that? It was a conscious decision. It was a conscious decision. Like I've, for the last whatever years, I've been in great shape and I'm lean, and I broke both my hands, so I had to take 3 or 4 months off anyway. So I thought, let's just get fat for a bit. It took me 15 years to turn it around. 200
pound later.
Yeah. So obviously I've lost a bit of weight lately. This is the lightest you lot have seen me on camera, like right now. This is the lightest you've seen me, because I've had my fitness pal since 2014. This is the lightest I've been on my fitness pal right now. And there was a time hop from, I guess it was October 2011, so that was 11 months after my fight, where I put something along the lines of, I need to get my tubby ass to the gym. I've put 2.5 stone on since my fight. So I'm actually approaching that. So I can almost tell you to the day the last time I was in good shape, which is nuts. So it's been, like I said, 15 years to turn it all around. And the calf operation was a huge turning point in that. 4-5-7 was a good kickstart back into that. The plantar fasciitis then derailed me for a good few months. But yeah, I feel like we're in a good spot with it at the minute.
So what was the question? Who encourages who?
Yeah.
It's quite even then, really, isn't it? Like,
yeah, at the moment, I'd say it is quite even.
You go a bit extreme, and you don't always think about like the build up. Generally, like
no,
you do.
I don't think
like
so.
It's not let's go climb Snowdon. It's let's just do Crib Gawk straight away.
Did we do Crib Gawk?
No, but we intended to.
I think you was more intent on that than I was.
Yeah, and then I saw it, and then I was like, And then I saw you get blown off a cliff, and I was like,
I wasn't that arsed about doing Crib Gawk, to be honest.
Okay, let's not do Crib Gawk.
Well, I am going to do Crib Gawk, but I am going to get the training and that done first. So
okay.
And there's I think Kinder's got a good scramble. Supposedly that's good training for cribcock. So we'll check that out. Disco Stew says, what one new skill would you most want to master in your lifetime?
I presume it means like go outdoorsy skills. It has to be, hasn't it?
I would, considering the place we are, I would probably say yeah.
I think I'm more like, I know you keep wanting to do courses like sleeping in a snow hole and stuff like that. I'm more like food, like bushcraft, lighting fires, learn how to skin a rabbit, live off the fat of the land. What would you do?
I've got a whole list.
Well, you've covered probably 4 of them in the intro,
Yeah,
but
so
like...
I'd like to get my map reading instructor qualification because I feel like I'm missing something because I find map reading ridiculously easy. And I feel like I'm not doing it right maybe because of how easy I find it. Like I've got a video written that we're going to do soon, which is like a little bit of map reading basics. But I find it so intuitive that I feel like I'm missing something here. So I wouldn't mind doing the instructor qualification and just go, oh yeah, you just find it easy. Or no, you was missing this part.
Yeah, you're actually been lost this whole time. You didn't know.
I am good at map reading, so it's not that. I wouldn't mind doing a bit of lead climbing. There's a course at Parthian that we can do for that. So lead climbing is different from top roping, where you put your own chocks and sort of safety in. I wouldn't mind knowing how to do that. That would be interesting.
The thing with me is I've already forgot what we learnt on that course.
Christ. I've got the campfire cooking course down here because, I agree, I wouldn't mind learning how to do some of that. My mountain leader course, I've got the mountain days required for it. I just need to do the training now. That's logged on my D-log. I've got the Smithy Bullock down, Cambrian Patrol. I wouldn't mind doing Paris 10 again. National Free Peaks, Yorkshire Free Peaks, these aren't really courses. Wilderness First Responder, wouldn't mind doing that. So that's like quite advanced first aid in the wilderness, obviously. My skydiving free fall course. But I don't know if there's anything I would like. What skill would I most like to master in my lifetime? Master, not just what do you want to pick up? If
it's any skill, I'd love a language, but I think a lot of people say that. It's an awesome thing to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Be fluent in a language or an instrument.
I'm a bit devoed that I can't speak anything other than English.
I can't remember anything that long.
Master. I don't know. I quite like just having like enough to get by in a lot of different areas, I think.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah. I think that's a good spot to be in rather than like complete master of one thing but everything else is just falling apart. AS Peters says surely one episode a week would be better. Do you not agree?
Don't know if I've got that much to talk about.
Yeah, I think we'd struggle to find stuff. Favourite meal together after a hike?
I
think it's quite easy, to be honest.
Why? What would you say?
Pub lunch.
Oh, yeah. Definitely pub lunch, but like what's your pub lunch meal?
Usually pie and chips, actually.
Yeah.
Steak and
nachos.
Yeah.
Loaded nachos or loaded fries or something.
I'd probably gravitate to that after... but it's always pub lunch. I can't imagine going sitting down and having a fucking sandwich or something. A cold
Chinese.
Sandwich. There's some things just don't work, do they? But no. I like pub lunch, and I like a really old, authentic pub as well. And luckily, most of the places that you go hiking, there's always one of them in there. Mahez Horhesh, says, planning to hike Kilimanjaro August 2025. Interested? ?
No.
You got 0 chance in August, mate. That's not happening. But yeah. How do you manage the time with all the things you do? We don't.
Sure. One more question, maybe.
I'll let you choose it then. How's Diesel? Good of that one.
Yeah.
He's all right. I think he's back to himself. Personality's back. His liveliness / giddiness is back. He just hides himself upstairs, doesn't he? You found a question?
What advice? Well, what are some things that you've learned being parents? Go on. Give you words of wisdom.
Walkies.
Walkies. Well, like take them on a walk.
Yeah, the same as you would with a dog. Walk them.
I can kind of get behind that though. I've been saying that to my friend Hannah, who's got an 11-month-old, and just like, just get her out in the pram, fresh air, like sends them off straight away. There's a lot to be said about it, I think.
Blake does have a real good love of the outdoors, which I love that she's got. And we're lucky enough that there's a bit of a river near us. That's a nice couple of mile walk, and I take her and the dog on it, and she gets her wellies on, and she goes and splashes in the river and picks up different stones, and the dog pisses around and stuff like that, and she comes back filthy. Yeah. But she loves it.
I think it depends on the child, doesn't it, really? Blake's obviously very overly giddy. Jaden was quite not so. A bit more chilled.
But we used to take him on the walks as well.
Yeah.
It was the river near my mum and dad's that we used to go to with him all the time.
But she begs for walks, doesn't she? She's like, can we go on a walk?
There's also chickens on our walk as well. And Blake has got a flawless chicken impression. We can probably put that in the video actually, because so she will talk to the chickens, and the chickens will reply. But yeah, there's chickens on the walk. So we did it in summer actually. I did it. I took her out and I was like, right, see if we can see 5 animals. And we saw 4. Normally you can see 5, but there was some places where we thought there would be, like there's normally horses and it wasn't. So that screwed us. But we got chicken, sheep, cows, and geese, I think, just on a little 2-mile walk. And she loves animals. Like we drive past anywhere that's got sheep, and she just goes sheep. Yeah,
nutter.
She's a nutter. But yeah, so I would say, like, I hate
exercise
her being on.
and go outdoors.
I hate her being on her iPad in the morning. Absolutely wigs me out. So I try and limit her out. She has on her iPad, and then in the evening to stop her doing that, because I think kids will just sit on them all day. Just take her and the dog out, and it's good for both of them. But I wish I could wear headphones on it because she doesn't shut up. I actually recorded her a couple of weeks ago for about 2 minutes. There wasn't 4 seconds where she shut up.
No. There's no off button.
Anyway, that is episode 1. Please get in the comments any questions. After the apocalypse one, we will go through the questions and we'll start answering the questions in the podcast. But in the apocalypse one, I'm going to set you some homework.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where you're living, how you surviving, how you getting 2,000 calories a day, how you stopping yourself getting robbed, how you moving about, how you purifying your water, what you're doing for electricity, do you need electricity? All of them things. Considerations. What about medicine? Where are you getting your amoxicillin from? What happens if you need a dentist?
I'm probably dead anyway without my medication, so I'm not lasting that much longer anyway.
Well, it's homework for you and it's homework for you lot as well. So let me know in the comments how you think you're going to survive. And I think, obviously, if you're in Florida at the moment, it might be an idea to start thinking about this quite seriously. Otherwise, if you're in England, you'd probably be fine. Cheers.
Yeah, see you later.
See you in a bit.